What's going on, everyone? It's Super here and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. Now today was the start of the Sub-Zero hype. Well, I guess that started when the trailer came out, but Sub-Zero's officially in Injustice 2. All we need now is a patch on July 11th for him to be unlocked and playable. So as you guys see in the background, you guys can see that Sub-Zero's actually in Injustice 2 via the new patch that went live today that addressed some bug fixes and some changes to some specific things to characters, which I'll definitely go over here. But yeah, Sub-Zero, something that I noticed in his base character model is that he has a cape. Sub-Zero has a cape. You guys could clearly see it, you know, hanging behind him, obviously. And this is something that is different from the base Sub-Zero form that we saw in the trailer. But of course, with the gear system, we're going to have the ability to remove the cape from Sub-Zero if we want it to look more traditional. But, you know, my brother actually really likes the cape. I'm like, you know, I don't know how to feel about it. I guess we'll see how it looks in motion. But there's going to be people who like it. There's going to be people who dislike it. And that's just, you know, the gear in general. You know, some people like some stuff that other people don't. That's just how it goes. But let me know what you guys think about Sub-Zero's cape. Of course, like I mentioned, we're going to be able to take it off via the gear that he had in the trailer, which I wonder why they went with the cape option. I guess just because it's, you know, superhero-based game. A lot of them have capes, and they decided to put a little one here on Sub-Zero. And if you guys remember, this is actually Jim Lee's design for Sub-Zero, just like he drew Scorpion in the first Injustice game. And I really like the design. But the cape is kind of like weird for me at the moment. We'll have to see it in motion. But let's move on to some of the highlights of this patch. Like I mentioned, there's not going to be a giant balance patch to change a lot in characters until after EVO is finished. So EVO, I believe, is July 14th through the 16th. It's pretty much the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. And of course, Injustice 2 is going to have a $20,000 prize pool in it. So all these guys, you know, training up right now who are going to compete in that, NetherRealm doesn't want to change the game 2 weeks before EVO is done. And all the preparation these guys have been doing for months and months, or I guess a month, since the game came out, is going to go to waste. And everything is going to change, and, you know, people are going to be dealing with things that are brand new pretty much. So as far as character changes, those are going to come after EVO is finished. So don't worry, those will come in time. Black Adam is not going to be doing 700 damage on people anymore. All right, so a couple of changes here. One that I really like is setting input shortcuts off in the controller setting makes buffering special moves in cancel windows, reversals, and wake ups have to be more precise. So I actually really like this because if you guys watch some of my Red Hood videos, you guys heard me complain that there were many times where I was blocking overhead attacks or blocking projectiles, meaning I was trying to walk back. And then when I go to do my forward 2, which is one of Red Hood's best forward advancing high moves, you know, special attacks, I would get Ninja Stars because Ninja Stars is back forward 2. So the input leniency was very, very low. And I'm glad that they addressed this in this patch. You're going to have to input the special moves in a more precise way to actually get them. So that means that if I'm blocking a projectile and walking backwards with a character like Red Hood and then I go do forward 2, I'm not going to get Ninja Stars instead of my forward 2. So I'm very, very happy about that. As far as like input shortcuts, the only character that I feel more comfortable using input shortcuts on is the Flash, just because of his down 1-2 move. I feel more comfortable executing like the his other special moves after down 1-2 with input shortcuts on. But as far as the rest, I have them off for every other character. So I'm happy about that. A couple of quality of life changes. So users now have access to a quick open next option after opening up a mother box, which is very, very time-saving because opening up mother boxes can take a lot of time. I mean, it's really fun because we're all excited to see what we're gonna get, but there's unnecessary time being wasted decoding every single mother box. So I'm happy there's gonna be a quick open feature added now to Injustice 2. Something else that is not really a quality of life change. It's just more of a visually appealing thing. Because like for me personally, I hate going into my character customization and seeing all the blue flashing lights saying that I have a new piece of gear. So now Injustice 2 added a option so you could mark all as seen, like mark all the gear as seen by pressing the start button. So I'm very, very happy about that. Now we won't have all the blue highlights on every single character. So I'm very happy they added that. Now let's move on to a couple of character changes, and it pretty much goes across the entire roster, and it's something that really they didn't intend it to be in the game. Now, for you guys who might not be aware of this, you know, tech with characters who have traits, for example, like Batman's trait where he has his mechanical bats and they don't go away after you tech a throw. So what people found out is that when you have mechanical bats out and you go to grab your opponent and he techs it, meaning he escapes from the grab, you could actually send out the mechanical bats while the character is recovering. While both characters are recovering, the mechanical bats hit your opponent while he's recovering from escaping from a throw, and Batman could still combo off of that for a full combo punish. Now, the reason that was so crazy is because, of course, Batman has insane offense. And to add that, you add in a throw that does, what, 14% or 140 damage. And if your opponent, you know, reacts correctly and techs the throw, meaning he escapes from it and everything's reset to neutral, to normal, what Batman was able to do if he had mechanical bats out is punish your opponent for making the right reaction and read in teching the throw. And this went, you know, for other characters as well, like Atrocitus. I believe Brainiac had the same thing where his trait, if he was holding onto it, wouldn't go away on a tech hit. So you could actually send the drone out after your opponent techs a throw, the drone hits him, and you could convert it for a full combo. So all those options that those specific characters had that could punish the opponent for teching a throw are gone now. Like, that was not intended to be in the game. One bug that I'm really happy that they fixed is Black Canary. So I actually uploaded a specific video called like Black Canary's worst glitch or something like that, where the canary cry would get interrupted, and for some reason, like, the rollback netcode of Injustice 2 would mess with the audio. So it would pretty much be like Canary, when she does a canary cry, it would pretty much be that audio the entire game, and it was really frustrating and annoying. It actually, it gave me a little mini headache when I finished that match, because since I use a headset, it was like ringing in my ears, and it was very annoying. So I'm happy they fixed that. So this specific Atrocitus change, I don't know if this has to do with the ability to use Dexstar to combo after you grab your opponent, or if it's just the you know, the Batman example of teching a throw and still being able to send out your trait like I explained earlier. I don't know if it's, you know, actually comboing from a throw, but I'll read you guys this. Fixed a bug which allowed for Dexstar character power attacks to sometimes be used in situations where you were in a throw state. Yeah, I do believe that that is pretty much like the same thing as Batman, because it says situations where you were in a throw state, meaning like teching throws, or maybe even, I didn't know about this, but maybe your opponent threw you and you could still call out Dexstar. Now that, I don't remember ever like encountering that before, but if you guys don't know, like, Dexstar has the ability to full combo your opponent after Atrocitus grabs you, because he could summon the barrier, and the barrier like bounces you up, and Atrocitus could get a full combo off you know, a throw, which is pretty crazy. So I don't think that's what they took away from Atrocitus, because like I mentioned, I don't think they're changing anything, you know, big for characters in this Sub-Zero patch. They're just, you know, tweaking bug fixes and, you know, doing all that good stuff. One other thing that is, I guess, very relevant to people who like really know how to use interactables. There were some interactables like on the I think Brother Eye stage. There was an interactable where you could keep looping it over and over and over until you killed your opponent. Like I think it was a bomb. Was it the bomb explosion, or it was you know, some stage interactable where you could keep looping it? Well, they fixed that, and they reduced it to 3 interactable usage per combo, because like I mentioned, it was sort of like an infinite. I remember seeing something about it on Twitter, but I can't remember the specific stage it was on. I'm pretty sure it was in Brother Eye, where you could just keep looping the same interactable over and over and over again until your opponent died. Well, that is fixed now, and they reduced the damage scaling by a significant amount, I believe they said. All the patch notes will be linked in the description, by the way, if you guys want to go read them yourselves. Like I mentioned, not too many character changes. There were some gear ability changes, but I don't think they were, you know, too significant either. One other change that I forgot to mention is they sort of fixed the collision on Captain Cold's Ice Wall, along with other moves that react the same way, that sort of negate projectiles. For example, like there were some frames of animation in which if you called your Captain Cold Ice Wall, opponents' projectiles would still go through, and I believe they addressed that because, of course, it is a bug in this specific patch, especially the meter burn version. There was still some projectiles that went through the meter burn version in some instances, which of course can happen because that's the whole point of the meter burn wall. You send it forward and it absorbs all projectiles. So that's going to be the end of today's patch note, Sub-Zero patch note video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We are only 2 weeks away from playing Sub-Zero, and I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.